So welcome to this. I think it's the 23rd, if we were going to put numbers to it, class in the Galactic journey. And I tell you, the last couple of weeks or longer have been extremely intense. And I think this class is going to be a little bit intense. If it gets too intense, slow me down, okay? A lot going on in our world. So Cinda's coming in. I'll wait just a minute, then we'll set space. There she is. Hello, Cinda.
Sorry.
We're just getting ready to set space, so you're right on time. Just breathe. Okay. If you want to mute yourselves, that would be good. So get a sense of your body, your physical bodysuit, and have it parked in a place where it's safe, it's stable, it's secure. You can be plugged into a rejuvenation center if you need be, and most of us need that right now. And ask that the rejuvenation teams work on the body, the energies, bring good maintenance to it. Because there's nothing that the body needs to do to give you messages for right now. And notice your breath. How perfect we have set up this flow of life. It's automatic. We don't have to think about it, plan for it, worry. And ask that the codes and the harmonics and the songs coming to you through your breath be those of the divine family, their agenda, their love, their intention that life on this planet be joyful and graceful and loving. Notice that breath coming in through your nostrils. And let it breathe out through every pore of your body. Breathing in all that good possibility, unlimited, and let it breathe through your cells out into your space, your world. As we sit in the space of sacred sovereignty, we're taking back ownership of those codes that are on our breath. Those original codes that exist within the water around us and in us and as us. Taking back the design of this bodysuit that calls together the dust of the earth for this mission as was intended. And be the presence of whatever quality you choose as you sit in this space. I am the presence of joy or curiosity, tenacity, whatever it is. I am the presence of. In your imagination, notice how the air, the water, the earth, the warmth of the sun gather to affirm that you are. In this circle, gathered in sacred sovereignty, those of us who are present in physical, those of our sisters who are with us vicariously, hold a pillar here in this moment of time for the entire web of life. We are the presence. We are the nodules of good, of love in all of its forms. Sitting in sovereignty, surrounded with the guardianship circle protocol and all who are in spiritual bodies holding that with us. We have claimed this circle. It is set, anchored, and opened. And so it is. Okay, so let's place ourselves in that circle. So name where you are on the planet and any either quality that you want to add to the circle as your presence. And if you want to add a person or some situation in the circle, you don't have to name it. But if there's something, some person, some situation that you feel that the energies here, the unseen intelligence here, you want that handled while we meet, just put in that information too. And you don't can just be, I'm placing this many. So I'll begin. Sharon Raji Maynard here, Woodby Island, state of Washington. And I'm bringing into the circle expanding knowledge. And I'm bringing 10 people into the circle. Emma.
I am Emma in Williamstown, Massachusetts, and I bring in the quality of gracefully releasing. And I bring 2 people. No, I'll bring 4 people into the circle. Angelique.
Thank you, Emma. Hello, everyone from the Netherlands, from the other side of the sea, the oceans. I bring in 10 people and a quality of healing and balance, rebalancing. Yeah. And I go to Avi.
I'm Avi in Wellington, New Zealand. Today I'd like to bring gratitude into the circle, and I'd like to bring 3 people with me. And I'll pass it to Arlie.
I'm Arlie in New Zealand, and I would like to bring 2 people, and I would like to bring hope and love. And I think Cinda needs to go.
I'm Cinda, just south of Portland, Oregon. I'm so freaking hot and bothered right now. I mean, I just got out of the shower, but I've been working my ass off. So, okay. I would love to still bring in family. And this time I am going to bring in my husband's family of 5. So bring those in. Thank you. Sharon, back to you.
Okay, thank you. I just got a note from Deborah, and we're bringing 2 people into the circle from Deborah's travels. Okay, So let's begin. Oh, yeah. I'm on mute, but no, that's Emma's mic right close to mine. She's on mute. I'm not. Okay, that's the kind of day it's been for the last couple of days. So let's start with any questions, any feedback, and before we jump into what's showing up for today. So popcorn, anyone who wants to say anything.
I just would like to bring in gratitude for the teachings. It's just so helpful and empowering. So I heard an expression recently, my niece said it, and she said, I've learned, Cinda, that if it doesn't empower me, it's not for me. And I thought, wow, how simple, instead of dwelling, do I do this? Do I not? Is it going to empower me to say yes? Is it going to empower me to say no? If it doesn't empower me, it's not for me. And I thought, oh my God, you're so young and you figured that out already. All right, she taught me something. So you empower, this teachings empower. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. By the raise of hands, how many of you have felt rocking and rolling in the last 2 to 3 weeks or more? Ta-da! Oh my gosh, me too, me too. So how many times in the last year or more have you heard or read or let's dismantle patriarchy, dismantle patriarchy? And do we want that? Yes, we do. We do. But when we say let's dismantle patriarchy, how many of us have any comprehension of what that means to us, to our lives, to the world, as we go through the dismantling of patriarchy? Not many at all. But when you understand the whole galactic, enough of the galactic to get some understanding, here we are, divine families, 7, coming with a mission or an agenda. That's why we birth from home, right? We birth from home to experience an aspect of good. So are we divine star beings on an earthly mission? Absolutely. So we began that journey la-di-da, naive as all get out, totally unaware that there were those who had chosen agendas not to use their own creativity, not to generate their own energy. No. They're just going to go around and use other people's energy, whether it's people in their family, original family, or, we had no idea. So when the whisper came that said, wow, you guys, why don't you let go of, create a little bump, little chaos, let go of, as if you are disconnected from source. Why don't you just put in this little chip that will put you in chaos once in a while so you get to experience what that's like? Come on, try that. And we bought it. We put in the chip. The chip was supposed to be for only a short time. We'd be whole and then we'd be muddy, and then we'd be whole and then we'd be muddy, and then we'd get off the ride and we would have had that experience. And because we were naive, we didn't know that the next whisper would come to the 13th group and said, like, whoa, look at them. Chaos, wholeness, chaos, wholeness. They are going down. Vibrationally, they are going down. And if you try to step in and hold space for them, you're going to go down too, because they're sticky. You're not enough to do it. You're not enough to do it. But if you let us come in, we'll help you out. And the 13th group goes like, oh, you're right. We are kind of weak. Come on in. We've never done this before. And so we invited in the very beings whose agenda was to use our creativity, use our good juju, use our good ideas to fuel their life, basically parasitic. And they were with us from the third world. And then they began coming in because of with conflict and violence. And then they began to attach, and they began to tell us what to do and what we could not do. And they basically owned us. And we began to make contracts to shut down our energy so we could survive. Maybe they won't attack us or attach to us, because we'll look like we're pretty minimum. We did all that in the galactic worlds, and in those galactic worlds, that patriarchy or the culture of domination existed in those worlds. And like any host of a parasitic, our family was dying. Our vibrational field literally was slowing down, because our energy was being taken off, being used somewhere else, and we were diminishing. We were on a diminishing track. So we put a plan in place, another plan in place, the plan we're on right now, which is Earth Mission. Look, these guys are so sneaky. They are so deceptive. We are having a hard time even deciding and even knowing who they are, where they are. Besides, they own us. We don't even have the authority to say, we're off your farm. We're going to go get our own land. Slaves don't do that. They don't say to the master, we're off. We're going off. And you're in too bad. No, they owned us. So we put in place this Earth Mission. The Earth Mission had to have a lot of components, because its agenda, the total agenda to begin with for the Earth Mission, was to identify outsider energy at any level of frequency, at any song, at any harmonic, have it identified by someone who had the authority to do so, and say, not acceptable, take it back to its home of origin. Take it back. That was the most important thing for Earth. And in order to do that, we have a law of manifestation that says energy, if it's in your space, is going to show up. It's going to get bigger and bigger, and the vibrations are going to stickier and stickier. And if you can discern them with your physical sensing system, that's kind of the end of it. You might be able to discern them with your spiritual vibrational body, or your emotional vibrational body, or your mental. But if you don't get it there, you're going to get it in your face, slap 2x4 at the side of your head. Law of manifestation. Why? So that we could know that we're so wonderful because we can get through trauma well? No. Because we need to know what shadow's like in order to know light? No. To know that in our field, there is energy constructs that are bringing us systems like patriarchy, rape, domestic abuse, disease of all kinds, entrapment of all kinds. Personal choice. We have personal choice on this planet. So one person alone can say, I see it, I know it, not acceptable, get rid of it. And we have a female bodysuit so that the ownership contracts could be carried in the male body, 2 of them, leaving the female body in authority state. No, her body wasn't owned. So here we are down in this mess, because it's gotten worse. Why? Because of the not enough in one of the villages early on, like 300,000 years ago, when one of the female souls in female bodies got a little bit too close to the monitoring system within the male bodysuit. Come on, let me show you this new way of being. It wasn't the male's job to go in and taste the fruit, to know that good and evil existed. So all of a sudden on the outsider's monitor, the bleep came up that said, whoa, wait a minute. Here's who we've been monitoring. What's this little beep? What's this little bleep? Not our system. Something's going on that we don't know about. And so the God of Adam swoops into the garden and say, what are you doing? You don't have authority to know that. That's only for us gods to know that good and evil exists. And here comes the not enough whisper into that female psyche. You're not enough. Why don't you just go with him for a little while? Go with the partner. Go. And when you get a little stronger, then you can call this guy out. And at that point, the bodysuit, the blueprint of this bodysuit, which was perfect for our mission, which had all the steps to unfold naturally for our mission, the wiring was crippled, and the wiring to the heart center guidance for the male was totally unplugged, and it was plugged into the gonads so that he would be manipulated, and the guidance system would be the gonads, sexuality. And instead of being heart power, it became power over through sexuality, being used by the parasitics, who used that as voyeuristic behavior and control. Then the chakras were different too. The wiring of the female suit then unplugged from the solar plexus, from that authority, the authority to say, I know who you are, out. Unplugged, wiring totally eliminated, no discernment to call out, plugged into the heart without discernment that says, you serve, your job is to serve, you're the nurturer, you do everything to make everybody better, without discerning who she's making better. 300,000 years ago. And then 200,000 years ago, the blueprint of this body was that of the crippled body was totally eliminated, and the outsiders put their own blueprint in, so that now they owned the blueprint, the body, and this became a slave body. That's why I call the chakras that we know survival chakras. The two-stranded DNA associated with those chakras are the base chakra. I'm going to survive no matter what. And I'm going to procreate no matter what. I'm going to survive no matter what. I'm going to procreate no matter what. Two strands. Who does that serve? We'll say a patriarchal system, but it's any kind of control domination system. And so I was in class last night and somebody asked the question. I was like, oh my gosh. She said, what? In some places that, some of the circles she's in, they're being told to not energize the chakras, because these chakras are chakras that have been designed to disrupt our power. I went, whoa, right on, Ladybug. Right on, Ladybug. But what's missing with that information is, what do we do? What can we do? What has been done? Do we just not energize our power centers? Just ignore our power centers? That's what we bring to this mentality that we're in. That we can identify a problem, we can step into our authority, we can connect with creative teams, and we go, what do we do about that? What do we do about that? Not just don't empower these centers, that's not good. So what do we do about that? But nevertheless, I was thrilled somebody else was talking about it. So here we are in our day and time saying, dismantle patriarchy. And when you start shaking the tree, what happens to the roots and the trunks and the hold that those systems have on us? It's in us. We've had them on us. They're in our field, meaning they, the patriarchal, those who have that kind of agenda. So that's what we're going to talk a bit about today. So any questions? And then we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Anything you want to add or questions you want about that? I just want to do an overview first.
You are on fire.
Good. I tell you,
I think that's amazing. Thank you.
you're welcome. Let's learn while with fire, not be burned by it. Anything before we do a break? Okay, 37 after the hour, and we'll be back. Okay, thanks, loves.